Hey guys, so today I am back. I'm gonna try really hard to record, edit, and upload this video in the same day because it just makes the most sense. But I'm coming to you guys on February 17th, 2016. For those of you who have followed my journey so far, you would know that today is the day of my surgery. You would also obviously be able to tell that I am not in Mexico and I am not in a hospital gown and I am not getting ready to have surgery. I'm going to try to keep this video really quick. My little one is upstairs trying to sleep. But this video, you guys, it's going to be all over the place. I wanted to make this video because a lot of things transpired in the week before surgery that obviously led to this. Me not getting surgery. I've had quite a few people, by quite a few I mean probably 20 to 25 people, ask me, why aren't you getting surgery? Like, what is going on? I haven't seen updates from you. You haven't been Snapchatting, you haven't been this, you haven't been that. And there are a lot of reasons for this. I want to start by telling you guys, I have told you from the very beginning that I'm going to be nothing but open, honest, and upfront with you guys. I am going to do so with the utmost respect, the most tact, and I'm going to be the kindest that I could possibly be in explaining to you guys why I am not getting surgery at this time. Where to start? I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I had been getting a gut feeling, you know, just that weird feeling. You just kind of knew something was up. So I started really praying about that feeling, just saying, God, if you're going to intervene, intervene. Like, I don't want to go do something that I'm not supposed to do. Like, period, you know. So slowly but surely that whole last week, just kind of one thing after another kind of started happening. Like, I kind of got this weird, it's not an infection. I still don't know what it is, but my eyes will just not stop watering, like, at all. But I wanted to put on makeup because I haven't worn makeup forever. Don't worry, I sanitized all of my stuff just in case it is some weird type of infection. I don't know what's going on with that. So that was kind of like the first thing I started, and then I have some swollen lymph nodes. So I'm like, gosh, am I fighting something? Like, maybe it's just allergies. I'm in a new territory. We've only lived in Idaho for about 5 months now, and spring is kind of starting to creep around the corner. So maybe that was it. And then my son got sick. Harland had a really high fever, and in talking to Dr. Kelly about it, he was like, you know, you're not going to get surgery if you have a fever. Like, I can't do surgery on you if you have a fever. Totally appreciated his honesty. I appreciated him being upfront with me. I did ask, I said, is it dangerous to get surgery, you know, if I choose to go on an antibiotic, you know, just kind of preventative. And he said that, what was the word he used? Like, preferred was basically, you know, he preferred me not to be. And I was like, well, you know, if I don't go on an antibiotic, I'm going to be sick during surgery. So anyways, I ended up going to see the doctor. She's like, it's not bacterial, it's viral. I don't know what's going on. No antibiotics going to help it. You just kind of, you guys have to fight off whatever, you know, whatever you're fighting. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't not get surgery. So then fast forward to Saturday early afternoon, like around noon, I get a call from one of Dr. Kelly's coordinators saying, and I apologize, this is not verbatim. It was a long conversation. The conversation went like all over the place, so nothing was, you know, nothing was in order. It was, pardon my French, you guys, but it was a shit show. Like, it was an awful conversation. Basically, I was told that if I chose to pay by credit card at Angeles Hospital, I would be getting charged a 16% tax. 16% of $4,300 is like $680 some odd dollars. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I was planning on using my credit card. We're not in debt, my husband and I. So we specifically got this credit card just for the surgery. It's only a $5,000 limit. You know, if heaven forbid extras got tacked on, like I have been seeing some patients have been getting extra stuff tacked on, we wouldn't have enough money on our credit card. with the 16% tax on top of that. So I was like, no, I can't do this, you know. So then he was like, well, why don't you, you know, just get $4,000 in cash and, you know, just bring that with you. And I'm like, I don't have $4,000 cash. Where do you expect me to come up with $4,000 cash? Like, okay. So we mulled it over, and then on top of that, I had already written my, I had already gotten my cashier's check for Dr. Kelly, $2,700 in his name. It's Saturday. The banks are closed on Sunday. The bank was closed on Monday, President's Day. I left, we were leaving here at 4 in the morning yesterday, Tuesday. So I was like, how do you expect me to change that? Like, I can't change, you know, I can't change the cashier's check because of the inconvenience with the hospital, the 16% tax. They were giving me a deal off of Dr. Kelly's portion. So instead of $2,700, I was only going to have to pay Dr. Kelly $1,700. And I was like, that doesn't help me. I still don't have $4,000 in cash. So I could not change the amount on the cashier's check. So I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. 3 days before my surgery, this is happening. 3 days. My husband is sitting next to me, and he can see me panicking. I can see him panicking. The panic in his eyes was just unreal. So he decided to, the patient coordinator said, well, let me talk to Gabby, the office manager, and we'll try to figure something out. Maybe, you know, you can use that cashier's check towards the surgery, and then you only have to put this much money, you know, on the credit card for Dr. Kelly. Like, it was just a show. So I get off the phone and I am panicking. I am seriously panicking. I fill my husband in on everything, and he was like, no, I'm not going into Mexico with $4,000 cash. It's not gonna happen. Like, you know, you can't arm yourself, you can't carry, you can't do anything. No, I'm not doing it. That's why we chose to get this credit card, is because we wanted to be as safe as possible. So I never hear back from him. That was the first thing that was incredibly upsetting to me. I was like, you said you were gonna call me back. You never called me back. I called him back, and it sounded like he was at some soccer game or something. Like, instead of taking care of what he said he was going to take care of, it made me feel, by what I was hearing, I could be wrong, but it made me feel by what I was hearing that, you know, I wasn't important to him. My situation, getting that settled, getting that, you know, ironed out, was not important to him. So I decided to contact a couple people who I was getting surgery with the same day. I'm leaving names out of all this because that's not important. But I'm finding out they are paying something and also paying in a different way, completely different than what I'm paying in the way that I'm paying. My surgery was $7,000. So $4,000 to Angeles Hospital in pesos or credit card, and then $2,700 to Dr. Kelly minus the $500 deposit that I had already paid. And the hospital also had a $300 deposit. So it would have been $4,300 total to the hospital, $2,700 to Dr. Kelly. They were paying $500 to the hospital and $5,500 to Dr. Kelly. And I was like, whoa, this is not okay with me. Tell me what's going on. I want to know what's going on. So I asked the coordinator, you know, what is going on? Why are they paying something, you know, why are people paying something different than me? And he's like, well, that's the thing, I don't know, you know, this person, you know, is charged, you know, paying this, and this person's paying that. And I was like, do you realize how unprofessional this is? My mind was blown. I was like, this is not how you do business. Long story short, I ended up getting off the phone, and my husband is not having this. He's like, no, this is not okay. I'm not okay with how this is changing all of a sudden last minute, you know. Here I'm crying because I want this surgery so bad. I've done so much research and I was so bummed out. I'm like, no. These people have amazing reviews. How is this happening? Like, I've talked personally to so many people who have gotten surgery here with Dr. Kelly. Like, this has never been an issue. What is going on? After that, the office manager, Gabby, called me and she was like, no, see, this is what ended up happening. After you booked, you know, basically, I booked the very beginning of January. These other people that I had spoken with who were paying something different than me had booked the end of January. And so how she explained it was that after I had booked, they basically lowered the price, and they were trying to figure out a way for me to get the same price as the other people. So they were trying to lower what I was having to pay, but the hospital was like refusing to change my payment amount or something like that. And if I paid with a credit card, they would charge me the tax, but if I paid in cash, you know, they wouldn't. Like, I don't even understand. Like, it made no sense to me. I was more confused than ever. And so I was like, okay, so if I can get the cash portion figured out, if I can figure out how to get that cash, you know, that's great, but what do I do about the cashier's check? I can't cash that, you know. She's like, well, let me talk to Cecilia and see if I can figure out what to do with that. And I was like, okay. She said she would call me back within the hour. I waited and I waited and I waited to hear my phone ring, and it never rang. So I decided to go over to my phone, and instead of a phone call, she text messaged me, which again, I thought was so unprofessional. Maybe it's just because I work in the medical field, and every office I've ever been a part of, it has been #1 priority that patients come first, that they feel comfortable, that they feel wanted and loved and cared for. Maybe that's where this comes from. Maybe that's where my frustration and my hurt feelings come from, but I thought that was insanely unprofessional. So, long story short, she basically says, so bring the cashier's check the way that it is, and then bring an extra $3,000 cash. And I was like, okay. It was like $3,068 or something like that. And I was like, okay. So try to figure out how to make that work, and I sit down and talk to my husband about it, and he's like, this just does not feel right to me. Just something feels weird to me. And I was like, I know, me too. That was just kind of it for us, I think. It was just that feeling kind of almost like there was some kind of scam going on, which I kind of knew from, like, in my gut that there wasn't, but it felt too unnatural to me. Like, it just felt wrong and sketchy, and the lack of communication between staff members was just unreal to me. So we decided basically at that point in time not to do it. So I had emailed Heath, the patient coordinator. He apologized, said, you know, I know the lack of communication is crazy, and I know that this and this and this happened and it shouldn't have, but is there any way that you would, you know, reconsider if we can figure this out? And I said no. You know, my kids were sick, and I didn't want to leave them. I totally could have left them, but I mean, I would have left them. Let me be 100% honest. I would have absolutely left them, but in my mind, I just feel like that's not the way that you do business. Like, if you really want somebody, you know, to stand behind you and say this was amazing, this was amazing customer service, this is how it was handled, I was blown away, you've got to do something different than what you're doing. Like that. Like, I'm not saying they needed to give me my surgery for free or anything like that, but there should have been some compensation there. I asked for my deposit back. I understood that it was non-refundable, but this was not my problem. This was not my fault. And I feel like it should have been offered to me. Again, I feel like it's really bad business. I never got a response from the patient coordinator, so I messaged Cecilia myself. All she said back was VI. I don't speak Spanish, and I think that she knew that, and I kind of took that as a dig. I thought that was really unprofessional. So I will be following up with her. I believe wholeheartedly, and my husband does too, that I should be getting my deposit back. I think that that's unacceptable. And I'll follow up with you guys on that, whether or not I do end up getting that back. But so let me just sum this portion up. The communication in between the staff is ridiculous. Dr. Kelly actually knows nothing about this portion of what his staff is doing as far as like payments or, you know, corresponding with patients. Like, he is not involved in that at all, which I think he should be. that is your reputation on the line. Your staff is a direct reflection on you. Not responding to my emails, not answering phone calls, that kind of stuff I think is unacceptable, but that's just my opinion. And like I said, I told you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. So let me go to Dr. Kelly. As you guys know, I have raved about him, and I still to this day would trust him to do my surgery. There's not a doubt in my mind that he's capable of doing this. There's not a doubt in my mind that he's a great surgeon. There's not a doubt in my mind that he cares for his patients. I just think the lack of communication is kind of what chops that into me not trusting going down there. That was confirmed this morning when I spoke with one of my friends who did decide to go down for the surgery. There was like 7 of us, and only I think only 3 ended up getting surgery. 3 or 4 ended up getting surgery. And let me tell you, her experience was awful. She got there was a lot of confusion with what amount she was supposed to be paying to who, and basically she got yelled at for doing it the way that they told her to. And it was just ridiculous. I'm not going to get into, because it's not really my story to tell, but that just confirmed it for me. I was like, you know what, I was definitely not supposed to go down there, which is such a freaking bummer, you guys. I am so bummed out that I'm supposed to be getting surgery right now, like as we speak. I'm supposed to be getting sleeved, and I would be waking up on the loser's bench, and I'm not. And I'm angry about that. I'm angry and I'm hurt. My feelings are really, really, really hurt. And I personally feel like I deserve an apology from at least Cecilia, if not Dr. Kelly himself. I understand that he directly was not involved in this portion of it, but that's your business. This is your business. That's your baby. You should be involved in that. And I'm really bummed out. This is not me sabotaging or being vindictive or any slander. It's not slander, because I'm telling the truth. This was my direct experience. If it's not directly from me, it was from my friend who experienced it. Today, I mean the conversation that I had with her this morning about her issues down there with money, and I'm bummed out, you guys. I am so bummed out. That's my experience with that. And now I want to move on to where am I going now? What am I doing now? I don't know. I believe that God closes doors for a reason, and I believe that God will open another door for a reason. I've been doing a lot of research on a lot of other surgeons. I've been doing a lot of research. Continued research, extended research. Surgeons in my hometown in Washington are too freaking expensive, 20 grand. Nobody does financing. They make it unobtainable. And I think that that's why I was so excited about going down to Mexico, is because I feel like not only were you getting a good surgeon, but you were getting an amazing deal. That's a door that will never be opened again, and especially in my husband's opinion. He will never consider Mexico again. I can tell you that right now. Looking into other states, one of my girlfriends, and then now I've talked to a couple other people who have had surgery with this doctor in Texas, Dr. Scott Stowers. So I'm looking into him. He's reasonable. It's like $10,000, almost $11,000. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen right now, but I'm hoping and praying that this is still the plan, that I'm still definitely supposed to be getting sleeved. I want to. I know for sure that this is what I want more than anything, and I'm gonna just keep working towards that, and hopefully it won't be too much longer. I'm gonna just keep eating healthy. I gotta be honest with you guys, I lost 16 pounds on the pre-op diet, and in the last 4 days I've gained, I almost said 4, I've gained 8 pounds back in 4 days. 8 pounds. And I gotta be honest, it's emotional eating. I'm really emotional about this. I'm so upset about this. And after talking with a couple of my girlfriends about it today, I know that I just have to jump back on the horse of just eating healthy. So we're gonna keep doing that, keep eating paleo like we always do. And I know I'm not gonna, lose the amount of weight that I lost on the pre-op diet, but that's just not a sustainable way to live. So that's not gonna happen. And hopefully the answer to my surgery and my surgeon comes to be. I was very impressed to hear that Dr. Stowers prays, he and his whole surgical team pray with you before you go back to surgery, and I just thought that was incredible. So I'm just gonna keep praying about it, and I'm so bummed out to be even having to make this video for you guys. Was like, I cannot believe I'm making this video right now. I cannot believe, after all of the excitement and all of the videos that I've put up so far, all of them, all 4, but still, all of the energy that I've put into this and all of the preparation and the research and everything that I've done to sit here and tell you guys, sorry, didn't get it done, it makes me so angry. Okay, done ranting about that. If there is something specific that you guys want to ask me, you can feel free to do that, but I'm not publicly going to answer stuff on this video, like in the comments or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is leave my personal Facebook down below for you guys, and you can feel free to private message me on Facebook, or you can direct message me on my Instagram. I will leave all of that down below for you guys, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions for you guys, anything personal that you want to know. If you want more details or whatever, I would be more than happy to give those to you, just as long as I'm not you know, calling other people out. Like, you know, that was another thing that really bugged me, by the way, was it seemed like every person of his staff was throwing somebody else under the bus. Like, well, that wasn't my fault, that was his fault. Well, that wasn't my fault, it was her fault. Well, she should have told you this. Well, why didn't he tell you that? Like, oh my gosh, how do you do business like this? It just drives me crazy. But again, I can still say that I would trust Dr. Kelly. That was one thing that my girlfriend that did talk to me this morning, she said Dr. Kelly just had the most amazing, like, personal presence, like bedside manner. She said he was just fantastic. So I didn't make this video to convince you guys to not go down there for surgery. I made this video because I told you guys I was going to be honest with you. I told you that I was going to fill you in on every step of my experience. And this, unfortunately, and I say that with the biggest part of my heart, unfortunately, this was a part of my experience, and that sucks so freaking bad. But it was part of my journey. It's not the end of my journey. It was a huge freaking speed bump in my journey, but it was part of my journey, and I wanted to share that with you guys. All I can say now is, you know this now. So when you decide to have surgery with him, you get these questions answered. You now know that this has been an issue in the past. Figure out how to not make it an issue for you. Follow your gut, follow your heart, do all the research that you can, make sure you get all your questions answered, and you should be fine. I just felt like I kind of got screwed over a little bit. And I mean, the least they could do is send me chocolate. Alright, you guys, again, if you have any personal questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them. I have no idea what the next video I'm gonna do is. Maybe I'll do something fun, but I'm not gonna abandon you guys. I'm not gonna stop making videos. I'll keep you updated on any new stuff that comes up, any new leads, any new opportunities for me to get surgery. So yeah, that's that, and a bag of potato chips. Why did I say that? No, I really want chips. Alright, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for sitting with me through this. This is going to be a long freaking video, and it's going to be really full of a lot of emotion and frustration. So I apologize for that. I apologize for not being my usual peppy self. But it is what it is. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.